So, welcome back to the program. Now, Regan, I heard that you were busy as a bee as usual, filming some anomalies in our
Over the
community
weekend,
over the weekend. What'd you find?
Okay, so there's things in the community that you see and you think to yourself, like, this is only in Kahnawake. I would only see this in Kahnawake. And I mean, I'm sure that people are thinking of things right now as we speak. But this weekend I was out with my son and we were looking at the Christmas lights and he's getting to know Santa.
Right.
So everything is Christmas tree, lights, Santa. So we were going up the highway and he says, Santa. And at first I was like, where's Santa, And then as we're going, he says, Santa, mommy, Santa. So I look and I see a Santa Claus, and if we can roll to a pic of this, it's going to be hilarious. You see Santa Claus in a Montreal Canadiens jacket, strapped to the back of a truck in front of Iron Horse Warehouse. And I thought it was just hilarious. So I said, you know what, I got to go and get a picture of this. Well, so my son was just like, Santa, and my son's already been taught the Boston Bruins, thing from Mike, because Mike's Boston Bruins.
Right.
So I'll when we're watching hockey, sometimes he'll be like, Boston Bruins, mummy, so when I pulled over to film the Santa, I was like, look, Ashton, Santa's Montreal Canadiens. I was like, oh my God, that's my 2-year-old.
Yeah.
And it was just really funny. And I was like, where else would you see Santa strapped, on the back of a truck? You just think it's something that you see in the community. So it was just a really funny story.
Well, I mean, there's always a million and a half things that you see only in Kahnawake where you don't see anything else. What always makes me laugh, though, is when you're driving, and then all of a sudden, you see two cars parked right in the middle of the road, and they're talking. Not to say, hey, how's it going?
I know.
But just stopping and saying, are we going to get something to eat later? It's like the conversation.
I tried calling you last night. Did you get my text? And and they're sitting side by side on the road, and you're waiting.
Yeah.
And then after a while, people get so peed off that they go around, right? And by the time you start passing them, they're pulling out, and you're like, damn. And then you can't really complain, though, because you know that you've done it at one point or another.
Exactly. You stop somebody, and next thing you know, you're just chit-chatting away and stuff like that.
And someone's beeping at you,
Speaking of chit-chatting, we were at Cafe Delisle yesterday, and we were just... And it's funny that
you and I were at Cafe Delisle. I ran into you in your sexy security guard jacket.
I got it free.
It was a security guard jacket, and I was like, "Ooh, Lance!" But I think it might have been the hair. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe the hair.
Yeah. It's all good.
New cut, man.
Yeah.
So anyway, so we're at Cafe Delisle yesterday. We're talking about just how things are going, work and whatever like that. And there was a gentleman who actually stopped us and said that a cousin of his or a relative is interested in working here at the TV station. So, Regan and I were just listening and whatever, and then he goes, so do I give you the information? And he's looking at me, and I'm like,
at Lance.
So I'm in charge of anything, believe me, So I look and I said, no, I said she's the brains of the operation. And then...
And there was another guy sitting there, and he says, so what are you, the beauty? And I was more insulted that I didn't get the beauty comment. I wasn't as much insulted as that I didn't own the joint.
Yeah, I mean, sure. I mean, I can run the joint, but let's, this is the beauty of the operation here,
Aw, thanks. But it was just really funny because it's again, things you only, in Kahnawake where people feel that they know you, especially on air, like people talk to us all the time and you may not know them, but they feel connected to you.
Yeah, I think that's the most endearing part of our community, though. The fact that you can talk to anybody in the community and have a real honest conversation, not where it's like, oh, do I talk to this person? No, I mean, you talk to them and you say what you have to say. Mind you, sometimes when you're shopping, it's like all of a sudden you hear a big yell across. I'll never forget it. I was with my two boys, and we're walking in the mall, and I was having kind of a bad day. My son was acting up, and my other son was acting up, and I wasn't yelling at him. It was just like, let's do our shopping, let's just go home, and then we'll end the day, right?
I know those days.
So anyway, I'm walking, and I bump into someone, and all of a sudden, full conversation just starts talking to me about like what's going on, what I'm doing, or what they thought I was doing, right? Or what they assumed that I was doing. I finally had to say, I really have to go. I said, my kids they got to get home to school, and they're like, yeah, but one more thing. Well, you know what? I'll go to your house. You know,
That
so
happens, yeah.
it does happen. But I
Yeah.
mean, you know, there's those minor times. But I mean, all in all, and that goes with everybody in the community, not just
Yeah.
people who are on TV or radio or print or whatever like that.
But did you ever notice, like, sorry, I have, like, do I have something stuck on my lip? Like a hair or something?
No, you're okay.
Because it's really bothering me and I
Yeah.
keep pulling at it. Anyways, take a look now at what's happening in and around the community in this week's Zawana Aorihwa News Briefs.